Hi everyone, it's great to have you here today as we tackle a super frustrating problem many developers face, getting a null response from the OpenAI ChatGPT, GPT-3.5-turbo, API. This can be incredibly confusing when you expect a meaningful answer, and instead, you get nothing or an empty object. We're going to break down exactly why this might be happening and, more importantly, how you can fix it to get your projects back on track. Let's dive into the common reasons for these elusive null responses. First, one major culprit could be your API key itself. Is your OpenAI API key valid? Has it expired? Did you copy and paste it correctly into your environment variables or your code? Sometimes, insufficient credits on your OpenAI account can also lead to the API refusing to process requests, resulting in an empty or null-like response instead of a clear error message. Make sure your account has enough funds to cover the API calls. Moving on, network issues are also a possible cause. Is your internet connection stable? Is OpenAI's server experiencing an outage or heavy load? It's always a good idea to check OpenAI's official status page to see if there are any known issues on their end. Beyond that, your request itself might be flawed, leading to the API not knowing how to respond. Are you sending the correct JSON format? Are all required fields present, like the model and messages array? Is the model name spelled exactly right, for example, GPT-3.5-turbo? An empty or malformed messages array, or even incorrect data types for your parameters, can cause the API to reject the request silently or return an empty response. Don't forget about rate limiting. If you're sending too many requests too quickly, the API might throttle you. Instead of a helpful error, you might just get an empty response, especially if your code isn't explicitly catching rate limit errors. Timeouts are another common issue. Your API call might be taking too long to receive a response, and your client-side code or the server itself might time out, resulting in a null. Ensure your timeout settings are generous enough for the API to process the request and send back a response. Sometimes, the problem isn't even with your code, but OpenAI's servers might be experiencing an internal error. In such cases, they might return an empty or non-descriptive response. Finally, how your code handles responses is key. Are you properly parsing the API's output? Is your error handling robust enough to catch exceptions and log the full response, even if it's an error? A poorly implemented try-except block can mask the true error, making a null response seem like the only outcome. So, what can you do to fix these null responses? First, always double-check your API key. Confirm its validity and your account balance on the OpenAI dashboard. Next, confirm your internet connection and check OpenAI's status page for any service disruptions. Crucially, inspect your request payload. Print the full JSON payload to your console before sending it to the API. Use tools like Postman or Insomnia to test your API calls independently of your code. To avoid rate limits, implement smart retry logic with exponential backoff, which means waiting longer between retries. Always set a generous timeout for your API calls to give the server ample time to respond. If you suspect server-side issues, try making the request again after a short while. And remember to update your OpenAI client libraries to their latest versions. They often include bug fixes and better error handling. Ultimately, robust error handling is your best friend. Wrap your API calls in try-except blocks, log the full response object, including status codes and error messages, and don't just assume an empty response means success. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this guide helps you troubleshoot and resolve those frustrating null responses from the OpenAI ChatGPT API. If this video was helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips and tutorials on API development and AI. Your support means a lot and helps us create more content like this. See you in the next video.